take a moment and just allow yourself to fully arrive into this moment. Your body is here, but allow the awareness, the focus, the attention, allow it all to arrive into this breath, this moment. Really visualize yourself unhooking your awareness from all of the sights, the sounds, the constant changing environment around you. Unhook it. See yourself actually unhooking your awareness. And then draw it inward. Very consciously, very deliberately. Draw that awareness in. And allow the breath to be a magnet. Allow your breath to truly pull the awareness into it. Don't try to change the breath, but just let it be the anchor for your focus, for your attention. Draw it inward. And just allow that awareness to spread throughout the inner being. If the mind wanders, just bring it back to the breath. You can add a very simple mantra here. And the mantra is so hum. So hum. It means I am that. I am one with the Supreme Reality. Like we say, Aham Brahmasmi. So hum means I am that infinite reality. I am one with all. So on the inhalations, allow yourself to gently chant to yourself as you inhale. So. And as you exhale, allow yourself to gently chant silently to yourself. Hum. And as you chant Soham on the inhalations and the exhalations, allow yourself to not just chant it, but to feel it, to know it, to realize that you are not separate, that you are one with the Creator and with the creation. Take these breaths silently at your own pace. And if your mind wanders, don't yell at it. Just gently and lovingly bring it back to your breath and back to the Soham mantra. Slowly and gently, bring the palms of your hands together at chest level in Namaste. And gently rub the palms of your hands against each other. And press the palms of your hands into your closed eyes. And slowly lower the hands and open your eyes. Welcome to Satsang. A very happy day before Diwali holidays, Narak Chaturdashi. It's such a sacred and a beautiful, beautiful time to be together. We start in satsang every night with a question that's come in from our online family, joining us from across the world on social media. And then we open it up to any questions that anyone here has. So first one that's come in advance, and then any questions anyone here has, there's a microphone right there in the center, so don't be shy. You don't have to wait for me to call on you. Just come up to the microphone if you have a question and share your name, share where you're from, and ask your question. But first we begin with one that's come in advance. What practices can we use in meditation to deepen our experience of both witness consciousness and loving awareness? So, when you meditate, we didn't do a very long one today, but it should hopefully have given you an experience of just in a few minutes. And what you notice is the mind wanders. It's the nature of the mind. The moment we close our eyes, the mind is all over the place. That which you don't think about in the other 23 and a half hours of your day, the moment you sit down for 30 minutes just of meditation, everything in the entire world comes into your mind. Even if you just meditate 10 minutes, in 10 minutes you will be shocked at how every person, every conversation, every item on your to-do list, every task, everything miraculously comes into your mind immediately. It's the nature of the mind. Witness consciousness. There's a lot of different practices of meditation. The technique of witness consciousness basically says, I'm not fighting anything. I'm not trying to push thoughts away. I'm not trying to change my thoughts. I'm just anchoring in the experience of being aware. I'm the witness. Anxiety is arising. Some item on my to-do list is arising. Desire is arising. Regret is arising as I think about things I did or things that I should have done. Longing is arising. Anger is arising. Grudges are arising. Judgment is arising. Desires are arising. Sometimes it's very physical. Itch in the knee is arising. Fly on the palm is arising. You never know. Witness consciousness is we just are aware. Usually. I had an experience recently. I was in Colorado on part of my book tour and had a couple of days off from the tour and spent them in the mountains hiking. And I was meditating by the side of this lake. And I've been meditating for several decades, and so I'm well aware of the tricks of the mind to try to get you to open your eyes and stop meditating. Whether it's the coffee cup that you've left on, the stove that you've left on, the urgent email you have to send, the mind will do anything. And you just become aware, you practice this ability of just, anxiety, sadness, negativity. You notice it, just for a moment. And you bring the awareness right back to the breath, right back to the breath. But so I'm meditating, and sometimes, as I said, the sensations are physical. Fly on the knee, itch on the face, whatever it might be. And I notice that the palm of my hand starts to feel very strange. Feels like something is in the palm of my hand. I just keep bringing the awareness back, bringing the awareness back, bringing the awareness back. And it starts to get more and more, and I'm just bringing the awareness back. And finally, it actually, like something bit me in the palm of my hand, and I opened my eyes, and there was a chipmunk licking and then biting my empty palm that presumably had a little bit of salt from the sweat from having hiked up the mountain to get there, or just the general, sweat on the palm. And I realized that people who come up there must have made a habit of feeding the chipmunks and feeding the squirrels, and so they'd become very, very comfortable with humans. Otherwise, they don't come up and actually, start to lick your hands. So every once in a while, you actually attend to something in the world. But witness consciousness is that basically says, I am just the one witnessing. I'm not engaging, I'm not judging. I'm not attaching my attention into it. I'm just noticing. Whether it's an ant on my knee, a hip that's fallen asleep, a foot that might be aching, my mind that's desiring, whatever it is, I am just aware of it. And that's what witness consciousness is. And it's a beautiful, beautiful practice, not just for meditation, because of course, if you allow your mind and your attention to go into every thought, then you've lost meditation. You've lost the spaciousness. You can think about it like if you're looking at a blue sky and it's a windy day and there's clouds that are blowing across the sky. Well, there's two ways of dealing with that. One way is, as the cloud comes, you hook into the cloud and you follow it across the sky. The other way is you focus on the blueness of the sky, and the clouds just blow across your awareness. Witness consciousness is the blueness of the sky. And it doesn't mean that you don't notice that a thought cloud or itch cloud or emotion cloud or memory cloud has just blown by. But you don't fix the attention into it. The attention stays in the spaciousness, the blueness between the thoughts. Now, loving awareness is a very beautiful angle on this. Awareness is basically synonymous with consciousness, so it's almost exactly the same thing. But it's a term that I think was actually coined by Ram Dass. He's the one I've heard use it. I believe that it's a term he actually came up with. And it's a slight adjustment to it. It's a witness, but not an indifferent, apathetic witness. It's a witness with love. I am simply noticing, but I'm noticing it with love. And so when patterns of anger arise, patterns of longing arise, patterns of fear arise, the stuff that arises in my mind, or even just the constant jumping of the monkey in the mind that no matter what I do, I cannot seem to make stop. Loving awareness says the same thing that witness consciousness does, but we hold it with love. I'm noticing the cloud of anger blow by, but I'm not totally indifferent to it. There is an experience of love within me that recognizes and notices, yeah, and this too. But I still don't hook into it. I am not analyzing it. I'm not judging it. I'm not telling a story about it. I am just staying anchored in that loving awareness of whatever arises. And we cultivate it with practice. And it's something that's not only good for meditation, it's good for life. Because in life, so much happens. People are obnoxious, they're rude. That which we want to happen doesn't happen. That which we don't want to happen does happen. The world does not dance according to our tune. If I've developed the ability to anchor in witness consciousness or loving awareness, then I don't react. I just notice. Whether it's other people, whether it's my own inner beginning of a reaction to them, I notice it. That has caused me to feel angry. But I don't react in anger. I don't give voice to it. I don't act it out. I don't punch them or punch a hole in the wall or drown my anger in a six-pack or something. I just hold it. I am aware there's anger. But I hold it with no judgment, and I actually hold it with love. Love for the very divinity of me, the infinity, the fullness, the Brahman of me. But I also hold it with love for the humanness of me, who's been triggered. And as I hold it, the trigger dissipates. So it's a beautiful practice for meditation, but then we bring it into the day also. And ultimately that's what meditation does, is it trains us, it trains our brain to actually be able to live in love, in peace, even when we stand up from the cushions, even when we open our eyes. Yeah, great question. Any other questions here? There was somebody who had just stood. Was that you? Yes, please.
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you so much for giving me chance. Can you allow me ask my question in Hindi?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll translate it into English for those of you who don't speak Hindi. Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
मेरा सवाल ये है कि जीवन का उद्देश्य क्या है, पहला क्वेश्चन है. थोड़ा सा लंबा क्वेश्चन है.
हम इसको ठोकर में ले लेते हैं. पहले पार्ट 1.
जी, थोड़ा सा मैं कंप्लीट कर लूँ.
ओके.
जी.
Done.
जीवन का उद्देश्य क्या है, और जीवन का उद्देश्य अगर मुक्ति है तो मुक्त लोगों ने, जिन्हें हम मानते हैं कि बेसिकली वो मुक्त थे, जैसा कि मैंने आपकी बातें सुनी, खुद को विटनेस कंडीशन में लाना, दृष्टा हो जाना ही मुक्ति कहलाती है. तो
Sorry, go on.
जी. तो हमें मुक्त होने के लिए ये सब करना क्यों है? बेसिकली अगर हम कंप्लीटली मुक्त होना चाहते हैं तो हम किसी पहचान में, किसी पूजा पद्धति में, किसी खास प्रकार के रंग में, किसी खास तरीके के नाम में, हम उसमें क्यों बदते हैं?
Okay. समझ गए. बिल्कुल ठीक. So in short, he asked basically, what's the purpose of our life? What's the ultimate aim of our life? Why are we here? And then part 2, of course, was we're told that the aim is mukti or moksha, liberation. But if the ultimate goal is to be free and liberated, why do we have to go through all of this? Why does it matter if we do this, do that, have this, have that, whether it's work, whether it's puja, whether it's prayer? Like, if ultimately the goal is liberation from all of this, then why do we have to do anything? Okay. I'll give the answer in English, then people can hear it. Yes, liberation is the ultimate goal of our life. You can also say God realization. You can say self-realization. Let me back up a moment for those who are from around the world. In the Sanatam Dharm tradition, we do not believe in original sin. We believe in original divinity. We believe that the core of who we are is divine, that we are one with the divine. However, in what is called the Leela, or the cosmic drama, we have forgotten that we are divine, and we have erroneously identified as these separate beings, these physical bodies. In the erroneous identification with the separateness, we suffer, and we engage in behaviors out of our suffering. So for example, if I identify as this body, and I identify as what this body owns, well, then I could look out and I could say, oh, I like Tallulah's jacket. Wow, why does she get to have such a cool jacket and I don't have such a cool jacket? That's not fair. And then my mind, in its suffering, maybe then when she takes off the jacket at dinner, I steal her jacket. Okay. Now, this is what we call bad karma. Now, in some way, the fruits of that action, of stealing her jacket, which were born out of ignorance. Because when I remember, A, that I'm full and I'm whole and I'm complete and I'm divine, then obviously what is there to be jealous of? What is there to covet? But also when I remember I am one with the divine, then I remember she's one with the divine. And she and I are not separate. So which body the jacket is on is utterly irrelevant. There's no sense of me versus her, mine versus hers. We're one. So the coveting, the jealousy, and the ultimate action are all born out of ignorance. However, once I have stolen that jacket, now I have got myself caught in a karmic cycle. Because now there is fruit of that action that I'm going to have to bear. In this lifetime, immediately, later on, in another lifetime, whatever it is, there's going to be fruits of that. It may be immediate and simple. Somebody might catch me and throw me in jail. It might not be till decades later. But the law of karma is perfect. And we are going to have to deal with the fruits of what we plant. Liberation, moksha, arises when we are done with our karmic bank account, which is where it requires the realization first, because otherwise we keep creating more and more karmic fruits. In my sadhana, in my meditation, in my prayer, in my introspection, in my contemplation, in my seva, in my satsang, in my shravana, in all of these things that we do spiritually, we attain first gyan, wisdom in the mind, that then percolates into my being, that makes me know, I'm not this body. I'm not my possessions. And so I stop coveting what other people have, which means I stop stealing it. Because one of the great side benefits, a little bit of trivia for a moment, spiritual trivia, is that we're now in Kali Yuga, which is the era of darkness. We believe that we go through these different eras, and we are now in the era of darkness. One of the boons of Kali Yuga is that we do not acquire bad karmic fruits for simply having negative thoughts as long as we don't act on them. Now, the dilemma is we typically act on our thoughts, so it's not, quite such a great bonus. But if you have the ability not to act out your negative thoughts, we don't actually acquire bad karma for it. So in my spiritual practice, first, I work with, I'm not this body, I'm not my bank account. I'm not the clothes in my closet. I'm not my followers online. I'm not my roles or my relationships. And so I stop having the thoughts, in this case, greed or coveting or jealousy, that lead me to do actions, in this case, stealing her jacket, that are going to give me karmic fruits that keep me stuck, that I have to keep coming back lifetime after lifetime after lifetime for. Okay? That's where the spiritual practice, even just in that very limited viewpoint, is so important. Neto sadhana ke bina mukti ho nahi sakte. क्योंकि हम फंसे हुए हैं, जो भी हम देखते हैं, या एंगर्ड हो जाते हैं, या राग द्वेष हो जाते हैं, मतलब हम फंसे हुए हैं क्योंकि हम माया में जी रहे हैं. माया से हम मुक्त हो सकते हैं साधना के द्वारा या गुरु की कृपा से. Only two paths to get free from Maya: our spiritual practice and grace of the Guru. Okay, so that's part one. Part two. If the goal is liberation, why do we have to go through this, all of this drama? Well, the spiritual part I've just explained. Because if we don't do the spiritual practices, we will never develop the mindset that will enable us to be free. But the rest of what we do, the job that we do, the family that we do, the duties that we fulfill, are there because we are here in these physical bodies with these particular situations and circumstances and experiences. Because this is exactly that which we need, our Jiva Atma, our soul needs, in order to burn through its karmic bank account from previous births. If I don't go through these, I'm not going to be able to burn that, which means I'm going to have to come back next life and do it all over again. And this is why in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna is so clear about this twofold aspect. Remember that you are divine. Remember that you are not the body. And do your duty. That is your dharma in this body, on this life, in this lifetime. And only by doing it fully, with surrender, will you become free. And the surrender is the key point. Normally when we do things, we do them with a sense of I. I'm doing this. I'm the doer. It's up to me. If we can surrender doership and allow ourselves to be channels through which the divine flows, that's the path to mukti. That's the path. And that's exactly what Bhagavan Krishna tells Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yaj chahoshi dadasiyat yat tapasyasi konteya tat kurushwa madarpanam. Do it. Do all of it. But whatever you do, offer it to me. Offer it all to me, everything you do, even the good stuff, even the sadhana, even the tapas. Offer it to me. And that's how you become free. And here's the last piece. When we are free, then this becomes a joy. It's only a burden as long as our mind is stuck. If you find yourself wanting freedom from all of this, it means you need to work on getting free in here. Because otherwise this creation is glorious. I mean, just walk outside, watch the sunset on Ganga, watch the sun rise over the Himalayas. Breathe the air, watch Ganga flow, watch birds build nests, watch flowers open, watch the stars in the sky. There's a comet coming sometime this week that first time in 1,000 years. Like, wow. What a gift. Life is beautiful. Drink cool water, drink hot tea, hug a loved one. Plant a tree, climb a tree, sit under a tree. Hug a cow, hug a dog. I mean, there's so much to love. Listen to music, make music. Enjoy art, create art. All of this is only a burden to become free of when we are stuck in our minds. So when we say Jivan Mukti, that's the freedom while living, and that's the real freedom. People have this mistake that freedom comes after I die. It doesn't. If you're stuck in the body, you can be sure that you're just going to get another one after you die. Leaving the body does not grant you liberation unless you attain the liberation in the body. It's like Pujya Swamiji always says, if you are not huggy here, do not expect that you're going to go to heaven and the hugs are all going to be waiting for you. What we create here, in our minds, in our lives, is exactly what happens to us when we leave the body. So Jivan Mukti, that freedom while living, that's the aim. Let me be free from the mind. That's why we do the sadhana. Yeah, great. Other questions? Yes. Come. Yes, please. Share your name and where you're from and your question.
प्रणाम माँ, मेरा नाम विवेकानंद बिस्सा है, राजस्थान से आया हूँ. My question is, actually I keep contemplating about Hindu faiths, beliefs, and 2 days back when I am coming from Rajasthan in train, a question came to in mind, and that question I want to put in everyone's mind. So my question is that there are some beliefs in Hindu Sanatam Dharm, that is, the soul is never take birth and never dies. Mm-hmm. Another one is, it simply changes the body.
Yes.
It transferred from one body to another body.
Yes.
Second one is that if there are sins in our previous birth, we have to endure the sufferings in this birth.
The law of karma,
okay.
Yes.
This is also. So, my question is, who is committing the sin?
Who is? I'm sorry?
Who is committing the sins?
Who's committing the sins?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Is the soul is committing the sin?
Great question.
Or the body?
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely. Samajh gaya.
If the body is committing the sin, then why is the next birth in which
being punished for what the previous birth did?
Yeah.
I get it. Yes. Great question. A very practical, very common sense, scientific approach to the law of karma and reincarnation. He took 2 core beliefs in the Sanatam Dharm Hindu tradition. One, we keep coming back in new bodies. The soul is taking birth in new bodies, lifetime after lifetime, based on the actions of the past lifetime. that the soul is never born, the soul never dies. So he said, well, who's committing the sin? Does the soul commit the sin? And if it was the body who committed the sin, then why would my body in this lifetime have to pay for the sins that my body in the previous lifetime committed? And if the soul is never born, never dies, never changes, how can the soul commit sin? Great. Man after my own mind. These sins are, and remember, we don't talk so much about sin in the way that we have to be saved from sin. We think about it as ignorance. So the wrong things that we do are perpetrated out of ignorance, not out of evil or sinful natures. That which the body does, it does because of the mind. My hand does not automatically rise up and hit somebody. My tongue does not automatically start telling somebody off. It's all because of the mind. Go back to my example about me coveting Tallulah's beautiful jacket. The hands are only going to steal the jacket because the mind has ruminated in separation, in lack, in scarcity, in ignorance in me. And then it has instructed the hands to go and do it, to do this wrong act. But it all stems from the mind. The body does not do things on its own. It's a great story, true story, of a beautiful meditation teacher who lived in Berkeley, California, and who had a friend who was trying to stop eating so many sweets. And he was talking to the meditation teacher saying, I keep trying to stop buying these pastries on the way to the office every day. He said, but there's this wonderful pastry store right where the bus drops me off at work. And every day, despite my best resolve, I find myself sitting in my office with a bag of pastries. Like the body, no matter what I try to tell it, the body seems to just go in and buy the pastries. And the teacher said to him, he said, well, why don't you leave your wallet at home? Practical solution, can't buy the pastries. And the man says, what? He says, you want me to steal them? We act and live like our bodies really have minds of their own that are separate from the mind here. And that if I didn't have my wallet to pay, my hands would still go in and steal the pastries. It just would then be stealing. This is where we have to work with our minds. It's a separate subject, but it's worth just adding in. This is where working with our minds is so critical because our minds determine our bodies. Now, when the body dies, and as you said, the soul travels from body to body. The soul will get associated with another body in the next life. But traveling with the soul is what we call sukshma sharir, the subtle body. The subtle body is made up of what we call man, buddhi, and ahankar. Or you can think about it when we speak in yogic philosophy around the koshas, the 5 sheaths of the body. So you may have heard about the annamaya kosha, which is this physical body. It's made up literally of food. And then we have the pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, right? Those 3 koshas the pranamaya kosha, the energetic body, the manomaya kosha, and the vijnanamaya kosha. Those sheaths are another way of describing the subtle body. They travel with our jivatma, our individual soul, from body to body, and it is based on them, the impressions, the sanskaras, that our next life unfolds. So if you ask where the karmic fruit actually sits, it sits in the subtle body. It's not the physical body. That body has been burned, I have a new body. It's not the soul. The soul is never born, the soul never dies, the soul is untouched. It's the actions that my mental, intellectual, energetic, egoic experience of self have made the physical body do due to the sanskaras, the impressions in those layers, and that's where the karmic fruit sits. And so ultimate moksha is when I've burned through the karma, the jivatma unites with Paramatma, the drop returns to the ocean, and that is when the subtle body dissolves and disappears. Does that make sense? Okay, good. Yes, wonderful. We'll take one more quick question and then aapka hum kal le lenge. Yes, just unka le lenge, and then we'll take yours. Yes. Just a bit of gender equality here. Yes.
Namaste, I am Varda from Gujarat.
Wonderful.
As you said, we are here to fulfill the previous life, previous birth sins or good karmas. So as I am going to start my professional career, I would like to ask a question. Can a spiritual practice can affect my professional life and it can decide my destiny? And how can I balance that in my day-to-day life?
Great. Our actions are determining our destiny. Everything you do is determining your destiny. The fact that you are sitting in satsang right now, instead of in a movie, is determining your destiny. You hear something, it'll make you think. Maybe when you go out, you'll think differently, you'll act differently. Every action, everything you do is literally creating your destiny. Because from one action is the next action. From that we learn something, then we take a different path. Everything we do creates our destiny. Our spiritual practice shows us how to live and choose consciously so that we're not victims of destiny. Our actions are determining our destiny either way, whether we're conscious or unconscious, full of love, full of hate, full of peace, full of lack of peace. Either way, our actions are determining our destiny. But our spiritual practice makes our buddhi, our intellect, shuddh. Buddhi and shuddhi. It gives us that purity. It purifies our intellect so that I make decisions that give me a better destiny. I'm going to have a better destiny if I don't steal her jacket than if I do. Not just because of the punishments from that one jacket stealing, but because once you do it, how I think about myself changes. There's guilt, there's fear, then I have to lie about it. What happened to my jacket? Oh, I don't know, I didn't see it. And we start putting in motion so many other actions. And slowly, 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 those actions build our destiny. So our spiritual practice enables us to choose with clarity, with purpose, with dharma, with peace, so that the world in our own minds is peaceful and happy, and so the life that we create is one of peace and joy. The balance, it's actually not meant to be a balance. But this is a mistake a lot of people make. Spirituality is meant to infuse every aspect of our lives. It's not meant to be like a thali. Protein over here, carbs over here, veggies over here. Our spirituality is meant to actually flow through everything. So when you start your new job, bring your spiritual practice into it. What does it mean? It means, can you see everyone as the divine? Whoever you meet. Instead of being Ji sir to your boss and, overpowering and rude to your subordinates, can you see that same divinity in all? Can you take whatever work you're being given and do it with full sincerity, keeping the name of the divine on your lips and work in your hands? Mukh me ho Ram naam, Ram seva hath me. So that no work becomes less. Otherwise, we start a new job and one of the biggest complaints is, I have boring work to do. Busy work, it's not interesting. I wanted to do something more interesting. If you bring your spiritual practice into it, then you realize that whatever you're doing is a way of purifying your mind, purifying your thoughts, bringing full sincerity into everything you do. But also what it means is that you make sure that where you're punching your time clock, the career that you're building, is in alignment with your values and your ethics. So you're not working in a company that's exploiting women and exploiting children and dumping its waste into the air, into the ground. It doesn't have to be an NGO. It can be a business, but a business that's in alignment with your values. A business in which everybody's treated equally, that there isn't oppression or suppression or exploitation, so that you can actually live those spiritual values wherever you go. And never find yourself in a situation where somebody says to you, nahi, karna to padta hai. If you get told that, it means it's the wrong job. Because we should never be forced to go against our values, against our ethics, under the name of, everybody does it, you have to do it, this is business. Making money is no problem. Having money is no problem. As long as it comes ethically. And it doesn't come by harming others. And one of the biggest mistakes that we make is this separation of my career path. I'm going to exploit people and harm people and cheat people in my spirituality, and then I'll just go and I'll go to the mandir and I'll do some abhishek and I'll give some dan in the mandir and God will, purify me. It's not like that. We don't believe in it like that. The spirituality should be part of everything we do. So let that be your beautiful challenge. Do your work and let your spiritual practice flow through you as you do it. Okay? Wonderful. Baki hum kal le lete hain. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your evenings. A beautiful morning and day to our family joining from all over the world. A very, very, very beautiful eve of Diwali, Narak Chaturdasi. As you go to sleep tonight, or even just as you walk from here, allow yourself to think, what is that within me creating hell in me and through me for others? What is that kind of demonic energy in me, that negative energy in me that makes my life hell? Those thoughts, that aggression, that separation, that ego that makes my mind and my heart feel like hell and makes me then create hell for so many others. And how can I vanquish that today? That's the beautiful auspiciousness of this holiday today, to vanquish that inner Narakasura that creates hell in our own minds and our own lives. So we're here on the banks of Ganga. Give it to her. We vanquish it tonight. Beautiful, and I look so forward to seeing you all tomorrow.
Thank you, Pujya Sadhviji, for your beautiful messages, especially tonight on the eve of Diwali, which is one of the most beautiful and my favorite holidays of the many, many, many. Test it. Okay. So in any case, welcome, or I've lost my mind. So thank you very much for Pujya Sadhviji for your beautiful message tonight on Diwali, or the eve of Diwali. And just for those, as we have a beautiful big group here, for those that didn't get a chance to have their question answered, we have some forms in the back where you can fill out your